And following her unfortunate marriage to Matthew Knowles, we were glad to hear that Tina Knowles had found love once more. Sadly, sources claim that she and her quiet separation from her new husband, actor Richard Lawson. We made a video for their love story back in 2021, and we still can't believe we overlooked all the obvious warning signs before Solange smacked us across the head for meddling in her mother's affairs. We have a variety of lemon pepper, beef jerky, chicken and waffles, popcorn, and green apple licorice in our virtual concession stand. After marrying Matthew in 1980, Tina became pregnant with Beyoncé in 1981. Tina traveled to see her best friend Gwen when heavily pregnant. Richard, a visitor and the brother of Gwen, was spellbound by Tina. Richard claimed Tina was the most gorgeous person he had ever met in an Instagram post. Hold on, now. We all know that some guys find pregnant women attractive, and that's okay. But Richard found himself drawn to a pregnant, married woman. Oh, right? Did we also mention that he was married? He had been wed for 3 years to Denise Gordy, Berry Gordy's niece and the mother of Motown. They also have a Bianca, a 2-year-old daughter. Richard defended himself by saying that he knew he couldn't pursue his feelings for Tina any further and instead chose to keep her as a friend rather than a romantic interest. After we end up here, click the link to our Blair Underwood video in the description section if you're not sure why we just brought up Blair Underwood. Now, in addition to their decision to stay friends, Richard also kept his admiration for Tina at a distance. Along with Matthew, he was buddies. He is close buddies with Matthew. Beyoncé was born in September 1981 by Tina, and Solange was born in June 1986. In our Jay-Z and Beyoncé. An insider described their union as a business arrangement, and over the years, they split up and got back together a few times. Tina became the family's primary provider after Matthew quit his job in corporate America to manage Destiny's Children full-time. In a book called Becoming Beyoncé, which we have linked for you in the description box, the author claimed Matthew got caught up in a web of drugs and freak nasty, intimate acts with people other than Miss Tina Roraro. She worked long hours at her hair salon and the financial strain drove a wedge between them. However, was Matthew the only person to leave? Not quite. That is, if you believe David Lee Brewer, Jr., who claims to have trained Beyoncé's vocals since she was a little child. David asserted there was infidelity on both sides in his book, to which we have provided a link below. And get this, while Tina was still wed to Matthew, he claimed that Richard was blowing her back out. Naturally, we are unable to verify this claim. The 11-year marriage between Richard and Denise ended in 1989 with their separation. He had a son named Ricky in 1992 with a lady named Rochelle, making him the father of 2 kids by 2 different women. Tina filed for divorce in November 2009, and the couple eventually put an end to their marriage. Though a year. Despite Matthew wilding out in the streets and getting 2 women pregnant while they were still married, they eventually followed through with ending their relationship, and their divorce was formally formalized in November 2011. Just 2 years after their divorce was finalized, Tina said to HuffPost that she felt a bit hurt when he wed Jenna Avery. She still thought of him as family despite the hell he put her through. Was Tina asking for that old item back? Tina claimed that even after her best friend Gwen passed away, she kept in touch with Richard. After her divorce was resolved, she got back in touch with Richard. Both of them were single. Richard was naturally intrigued. Tina recalled how one of her friends had asked Richard if he knew of any guys who would be interested in dating Tina during a public address. When Richard inquired as to the kind of man Tina was seeking, Tina replied that she was searching for someone with moral character, a devout believer in God, and a dancing enthusiast. Richard then inquired, "What about me?" We both responded, "Hell no." Therefore, despite Richard having feelings for her for 30 years, they weren't shared on day 3. Was there something Tina's stomach was trying to tell her? At the Essence Empowerment event, Tina said that she didn't think Richard was the perfect man for her because so many other women were drawn to him. So, did Richard simply have a lot of platonic relationships with women who were eager to ride his meat whistle, or was he slanging that thing all over town? Whatever the case, Tina claimed that it was something she simply didn't want to deal with. She is not to fault. especially considering everything that occurred during her first marriage. Richard persisted, nevertheless. He wasn't about to give up after waiting for so long to get a chance with her. He took Tina and her companion dancing the very following day. The following day, he went out to lunch with Tina. As they started spending more time together, things started to get crazy deaky. Sometime in the 2013 summer, they started dating. They were together to celebrate Beyoncé's birthday in September 2014, when Blue Ivy remarked, "Well, y'all look beautiful. When will you two be married?" Blue was around 2.5 years old at the time, so Richard said, "Oh, Blue, soon do you approve?" Blue concurred, and they admitted publicly that they had never even brought up marriage until a little child did. They tied the knot in April 2015 for unspecified reasons. She hyphenated Tina Knowles Lawson as her given name. Besties. Should she have dropped the Knowles to show her new husband enough respect? Answer in the space provided below. Anyway, they started blending their families right away. They jointly own an acting school and a children's theater facility in Los Angeles. Ricky, Richard's son, is employed by Beyoncé's Parkwood Management Companies and art division. Every event they attended together, and they routinely went on dates with other Hollywood A-listers. They were ecstatic to be spending the rest of their life together and were so much in love. Richard claimed in an Instagram post that his attraction to her had never changed. She was also referred to as a gorgeous, seductive, ratchet god warrior in his description. "We don't like to spread rumors, but for a while we had a hunch that Tina and Richard were up to something sinister." Let's elaborate. Tina and Richard made an appearance on OWN's Black Love series in October 2018. Tina confessed that while she prayed for the kind of man she desired, she was terrified to fall in love once more. She sat there and declared that she was a good person and a bad mama jama, and that she deserved to be with someone because she was such a wonderful person. She continued by saying that while Richard possessed many of the things she desired, he wasn't flawless. Perfect? Without a doubt. He does, however, possess many of the attributes. No, he possesses many of the traits that I adore. And right now, we're having a great time. No one is flawless, but the way she said it and the way she defended it when he pressed her on it made the remainder of the interview a little awkward. Richard's face became extremely agitated and he could be seen tensing up. With the video, social media had a field day. Some people criticized Tina for disrespecting them and making her husband look bad. 2019 then followed. Breast cancer in stage 1 affected Matthew. Well, elderly celebs continue to use this dated PR strategy. On Fridays, they generally make sensational announcements like breakups late in the day in the hopes that people in the media will forget about them over the weekend. Do you find it surprising that Tina and Richard's situation played out the way it did? And do you believe that she ought to flip the block and give Matthew another shot? Comment below and let us know. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching Fame Reporter.